Hello there, good evening. Welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Bridget Otu. Thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday evening. The stories making headlines. Two more suspects have been remanded in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology disturbances, while a bench warrant has been issued for the arrest of 62 others. Five persons arrested in Tamale in connection with the vandalization and shooting at the Northern Regional Office of the Opposition National Democratic Congress. And also drama at Parliament's Assurance Committee as MP for Afram Plain South accuses Education Minister of not preparing adequately before meeting the committee to account for assurances his ministry had made. National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association kick against Ghana Union of Traders Association's call to close all shops on Monday in process of dire economic conditions affecting their businesses. On the international front, Somalia's new president Hassan Sheikh Mohammed declares an all-out war against militant group Al-Shabaab, days after militants staged a deadly attack on a hotel in the capital, Mogadishu. Hello again, and remember we're streaming on Twitter. It's at Metro TV GH. If you're on Facebook, you're not left out. It's at News Night and at Metro TV Ghana. Our very first story tonight, and two more suspects linked to the disturbances at KNUST have been remanded into police custody by the Asukori Mampon District Court. The accused persons, Daniel Osei-Bonsu and Francis Tutu Etuhini, will reappear before the court on September 8 after a push for their bail by lawyers was shot down by the court on Wednesday.
And the issue is that, within 48 hours, if you arrest accused persons, you have to produce them before the law court. And this is exactly what the police did today, this afternoon. Yes. And the lawyers for the accused persons came and applied for the bail for the accused persons. And then we also argue in our submissions that we needed accused persons to assist in investigations. And then the court heard us. And then they remanded accused persons to appear on the 8th of September. Yes, we paid the court for a bench warrant, and then the court issued a bench warrant for the arrest of the other accused persons. So the police will look for them to get them arrested and then produce them before the court. This is a matter of national interest, and our administration, police administration, is so much in touch and interested to see how the matter will end and make sure that this thing will not continue in the various institutions. Yes. So they are so much particular about these cases, especially the destruction of properties and then causing harm to a lot of people on campus. And then we wanted to ensure that this mayhem, this impunity will come to an end in the society.
What's the message to those at large?
Those at large, what I wanted to tell them that exactly, we shall definitely get them. So they better has to report themselves to the nearest police stations. Because we are looking for them and we shall get them. He was also on remand now, yes, for some messages he sent on social media, trying to allude to the fact that they will kill some students to pacify their goals in Katanga, which is very unfortunate.
And to our other headline story, and 5 persons have been arrested in Tamale in connection with the vandalization and shooting at the Northern Regional Office of the Opposition National Democratic Congress. Gunmen stormed the office on 23rd of August 2022 and fired shots, damaging the party office and some properties. They also made away with some property in the party office, including a laptop. The motive for the attack was not known, but some observers linked the gunshot to the appointment of an interim chairman after the death of its regional chair, Alhaji Ibrahim Mobila. Regional Secretary for the party, Mohammed Abdul Salam, said the decision on the succession was made in accordance with the party's constitution. He added that those not pleased with the decision should follow the right processes rather than resort to violence. He noted that the party members and anyone else found guilty would face the full force of the law. Regional correspondent Al-Hassan D. Baba on what else he has gathered in respect of his engagement with the Ghana Police Service there. Al-Hassan, good evening and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, Brigade.
What can you tell us with respect to what the police have gathered so far in respect of the arrest?
Right. This afternoon, a number of people were picked up from various locations in connection with the disturbances yesterday. In fact, 2 were picked at Poloefang, a suburb of Tamale, and another 3 were picked around 4 in the Tamale South constituency or within Tamale Metropolis. But when we went to the police station to find out what really happened, many of the family members of those people were not happy because, according to them, those people that have been arrested do not even interfere into, or they don't even go into politics. So they were surprised that the police picked them up. In fact, one of them at Poloefang is a TV repairer, and his shop is very close to an NDC pavilion. And he was arrested because when the guys were running away after seeing the police, he was sitting down. He thought he wasn't part of it, but he was arrested. And the guy was also complaining that when the police arrested him, they brutalized him. And he was not happy for that because, according to him, he did not resist any arrest. And for that matter, there wasn't any need for him to be beaten by the police. Meanwhile, when I contacted the police, they were quiet on it because, according to them, they are still investigating and wouldn't want to speak on it currently because that may interrupt their investigation.
Okay.
So currently, that is what is happening.
What can you tell us, Al-Hassan? Thank you very much. What can you tell us about the mood at the party office since the arrest was made?
Well, the party office is a bit away from the main town and people don't really go there regularly. And after the vandalization, nobody is around there to even, or there's nothing there for anybody to guard. Even though the police go there once in a while to check it up, but nothing is happening at the party headquarters currently, as those people are having their sitting places. So the police are in a lookout for those people at their various joints to arrest them.
Okay, all right, Al-Hassan, we would leave it here. And but I think beyond the arrest of the 5, there was the vice chair who was also arrested, and you posted that.
Yes, the vice chairman was arrested yesterday. He was granted bail. He was arrested because they suspected that when those guys were vandalizing the party office, they were mentioning his name, saying that if he is not made the vice chairman, they are not going to accept any other person else. Okay. So for that matter, they believe that the vice chairman was having hand in what was happening, and they picked him up.
All right, thank you
for investigations.
Thank you very much, Al-Hassan D. Baba. Stay safe. We'll continue with the rest of our stories. And spokesperson for the woodshop owners in Boko in the Upper East region is demanding security personnel patrolling the area during curfew hours be extra vigilant. This follows another attack on Tuesday night in which one person was shot dead at the timber market in Boko within 100 meters of the Boko police station.
The perpetrators of the crime are believed to have set fire to the timber market in Boko during the curfew hours of Tuesday, raising several wood shops in the process. Spokesperson for the wood shop owners in Boko is Abugri Haruna. He narrated to Metro TV how one man was found dead and another injured.
This morning we woke up and met a situation that we can all describe, where an individual was shot dead and a whole timber market burned into ashes. And not only that, a watchman in that area, the man in charge of the area at night, also had his leg shot by unknown assailants. And that is actually very, very painful. Jato is an individual who works at, he's also a carpenter, and he works there, he buys his items from there, and he stays around that area. So once he's now dead, we cannot tell exactly what sent him there.
He bemoaned how such an act happened right at the doorsteps of the Boko police station.
We are wondering whether actually that particular curfew is properly enforced by security or not. We reported the incident to them formally. They also came and visited because the scene where this thing happened is less than 100 meters away from the municipal police station. That is where the whole thing happened. They came and visited the scene, they took pictures of the burned wood, they took pictures of the corpse, the murdered individual, and they visited the man with the broken leg at the hospital. And of course, they said they will investigate. It's not a usual jargon in Boku. They will investigate. But we are hoping that they should be able to arrest the perpetrators.
Renewed clashes erupted within the already volatile Boko municipality, in which Mampusis and Kusasis are at each other's throats over a protracted chieftaincy issue some believe is non-existent. Residents are calling on well-meaning Ghanaians and the government to help bring a lasting solution to the Boko situation.
Right, and remember the directive by Gupta to have shops closed? Well, there's resistance to that because the National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association has kicked against the decision by the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Gupta, to close all shops on Monday in protest of dire economic conditions which are adversely affecting their businesses. Now, according to the concerned dealers, closing shops will create more problems on traders and their households. And as a result, it's not in their best interest, and they should find other means to address their demands and concerns.
Leadership of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Gupta, resolved to close down all their shops on Monday, August 29, to demonstrate particularly against the persistent depreciation of the Ghana cedi. Addressing a press conference on Monday, the president of the association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, stressed that the worsening state of the cedi has eroded the gains of businesses after the COVID-19 pandemic and the shocks from the Russia-Ukraine war. However, another labor union, the National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association, has rejected the decision by Gupta to close all shops on Monday in what could cause a setback for scheduled exercise. In an interview with Metro News, the public relations officer of the association, Techiado, said demonstration is better off than closing down shops.
As an association, our concern is very simple and short. For the past 5 years, Gupta has been so adamant. When we look at the posture of Gupta, it means they are one side, means that they're always in favor of this current administration. We start complaining about this economy and the cedi and this dollar. Always Gupta is the defense of the government. This government is listening government, they are doing well, they have a belief in this government, they are doing well. So we keep on warning them. No. But what we are seeing, definitely we'll face big problem in the near future. Now look at what it has landed everybody. Look at the dollar, look at the inflation, lending rates. Now Gupta is saying everybody should close stores on Monday. We are saying no, we are not going to allow that. Our members should open their stores on Monday to go and sell. One person doesn't store in a store. We have 2 or 3. You have store attendants. They are there. You agree with me? Every store has store attendant. Do you understand? The owner can go, or the boss or the mother can go to the demonstration, but the store attendant will be there selling. That's our point. There is no store in this country will tell me one person is selling. We have shop attendants.
He called on government to conduct wider consultations with expert stakeholders for appropriate measures to check Ghana's ailing economy and to keep them in business.
Closing down stores, would that bring back the dollar? We need to get pragmatic solution. That's why I was saying this current administration need to do broader consultation with the past administration. I think some players are talking. Mr. Kwame Mpieni, you know Kwame Mpieni very well. Kosiboche, they are all around. Setekbe, they are all around. There are more people around now who can help. Go to our universities. We have more professors, serious best economists. They are there. Bring them on board. Let's work together Let's draw. This, as I'm saying, previously we used to call doomsday crisis. Now it's currency crisis.
Right, and we're trying to connect with the president of Gupta to understand, the impact of this. The concerned dealers are saying they will open their shops. Does that in any way, weaken the directive? And will the shops follow the concerned dealers or stick with the original plan of Gupta? We'll try and get that for you. And also monitor what happens at the spare parts dealers, place, especially, at Abosokai. Right, so government's partnership with the Just One group of companies is one of the crucial highlights of President Akufo-Addo's administration. The president, while commissioning the Damongo compost and recycling plant, commended the executive chair of the group, Dr. Joseph Sianwe Japon, for supporting government's vision to grow the economy and rid the entire country of filth.
The Damongo Integrated Compost and Recycling Plant has the capacity to process 400 tons of solid waste and 200 tons of fertilizer daily. It is also expected to create 200 direct jobs.
Your Excellency, you have adequately demonstrated this, and this is what has brought us here today. We are here today and in a position to solve a fertilizer problem. Indeed, as a leader with foresight, you saw the problem early, and today we are benefiting from it. Since tenure of office in 2016, he has achieved 16 medical waste treatment plants, 16 recycling and wastewater plants, and 16 composting and recycling plants. So within his tenure of almost 6 years, he has established 38 treatment plants.
At the commissioning, President Akufo-Addo was grateful to the Just One Group for driving his government's vision of maintaining clean cities in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. He said government is prepared to open its doors to other private entities.
Fortunately for me, in my time, I came across a man who was prepared to partner with government to deal with the question of waste disposal in our country. And it has been one of the highlights of my government, the partnership that the government has made with the Just One group of companies, headed by its executive chairman, Joseph Sianwe Japon. And I've said it before, and I'll repeat it. Any serious businessman that has a program for development in his sector and is seeking the partnership and assistance of government, this government, Nana Addo Dankwa's government, will give him that support and partnership for us to develop our country together.
The president further assured residents that the Damongo water project will commence before the end of the year.
That before the end of this year, the Damongo water project will have begun. Bywater Company, which has been awarded the contract, is in the process of completing the processes in England that would enable it to start work by the end of this year. So that the cutting of the soil that took place in 2019, finally, in 2022, we will see the beginning of the construction of the waterworks that will resolve the problems of Damongo.
And you're live here on Newsnight. Still to come, we'll tell you more about the drama that unfolded before the Parliament Assurance Committee between MP from Plain South and the Education Minister on the latter's mandate. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I come before you as colleagues. You want me to sit here and frown? Right. And we are on live TV.
Welcome back to Newsnight here on Metro Television. We go to Parliament. Now, Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Edichum, has told Parliament's Committee on Government Assurances that more than 6 million copies of textbooks on the new curriculum for basic schools have been produced and distributed to the GES regional directorates.
Basic school teachers in Ghana have for the past 3 years been faced with the challenge of implementing a new standard-based curriculum without the required learning materials. The situation, which affected smooth teaching and learning of the basic level, prompted members of parliament and educational think tanks to demand timelines for the production of the books. Minister of Education Dr. Yaweduchum was eventually hauled before the Assurance Committee of Parliament to provide an update.
Honorable Minister, you assured the House that 3 months from June 10th, the textbooks will be distributed to the various schools in the country. Could you please give us an update?
Yes, I made assurance on the floor of Parliament, and I stand by that assurance. As I speak with you, distribution of textbooks is ongoing around the country. In some places have moved from the region to the district. In some places have gone from district to the schools. So yes, I'm within the 3 months assurance period. And I'm excited to inform the committee that I am within my assurance period. I will want you to know that as I speak with you, we have a number of textbooks distributed to the various regions. 6.4 million textbooks have been produced and distributed, and the distribution is ongoing. Every region have them in their warehouse.
Some committee members who were not satisfied pushed for a timeline for completion of the distribution.
When will it come to a time when the minister will say the textbooks have been distributed? Because that's the essence of education.
I live here with a sense of urgency. I'm going to follow up. As I indicated to you, the students are not in school now, so we have to push from region to district and from district to schools before students come back. So I don't want to say ongoing. I don't want to say ongoing anymore. So I'm very careful with my choice of words. Especially when you are before this committee. This is the last stop, so I have to be careful. But I want to surprise myself and surprise you that we'll do the work.
The minister further assured that the distribution of the textbooks will be completed on schedule to enhance smooth teaching and learning.
And that was the first part, but there was drama at the Assurance Committee meeting earlier today after Member of Parliament for the Afram Plains South constituency, Joseph Appiah-Boateng, accused the Education Minister of not adequately preparing before the meeting or meeting the committee to account for assurances his ministry had made. Chairman of the committee, however, waded into the confrontation between both MPs and demanded an apology from the MP.
Because all the answers that he's giving, it looks like he's not well prepared, and he's not prepared to come and meet the committee, and he has been sitting there laughing as if he's not being serious or something like that.
Honorable member, please.
This is not acceptable. I come before you as colleagues. You want me to sit here and frown? And we are on live TV.
I'm giving you the opportunity to withdraw, and please apologize and rephrase your question, please.
Sorry, Madam Chair. You see, first of all, when Minister came in, the answer that he was giving was false. He said that he has fulfilled all his promises. Meanwhile, it took more than 15 months, and yet schools hasn't received those books. And now you are calling me to apologize to the first false information that he gave to the House.
I think that even makes it worse. I didn't lie to you.
Honorable Minister, please hold on a minute. Please, Honorable Minister, let's calm down. Let's calm down. We are here to see progress. We are here to find fulfillment of a promise. So please, questions must be direct and please don't add any preambles and all that.
I sincerely withdraw whatever that I said earlier on.
And someone said they expected to hear, yeah. Right. So the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Edichum, says children in 48 senior high schools in Ghana have only 1% chance of going to the university due to the quality of education offered. Speaking at the presentation of the Teacher Prize in Accra, Dr. Edichum said government is collaborating with partners to change this and produce quality outcomes.
Basic education in Ghana lacks the quality. People either write lying on their bellies or sit in dilapidated classrooms. These affect quality at the basic level. The senior high school level is not any different. Some schools are deprived and lack the necessary logistics to offer quality education. The Education Minister, Dr. Yao Edichum, says this is impacting negatively on Ghana's education.
We are in the 21st century. The fourth industrial revolution is upon us. Yesterday I read a piece by Tony Blair talking about the shortcomings of the UK education system, talking about the mismatch between training and deployment of people in the country, talking about the fact that high school students are no longer equipped in UK to work, and how they need a change in the education curriculum, something that the President has made it possible for us to do the last 5 years.
Speaking at the launch of the National 2022 Teacher Prize, Dr. Edichum said government is committed to improving education to match up with 21st century needs.
It's not good enough for us to have 48 schools in Ghana, high schools, where the pass rate is 1% or less. That a student who go to one of these 48 schools have a less than 1% chance of going to the university. There's a need for us to come together to reform these schools, and I'm glad MasterCard Foundation has given funding, and as I speak with you, transformation is taking place in some selected schools where the funds could support in teacher training and other aspects that will truly bring about the transformation. We have to begin to look at how do we ensure that after attaining access in secondary education through the free senior high school, increasing enrollment from 800,000 to 1.3, how do we improve quality? So on that score, I'm also happy that the President has provided resources, science labs through GET Fund are under construction in existing schools.
The National Teacher Prize recognizes outstanding teachers who have contributed greatly to improving education in Ghana. Dr. Edichum advised teachers who have been selected to continue to give up their best, while urging those who did not get selected not to give up, but work hard to attract attention.
An MP for Bulsa South and Deputy Ranking Member on Education Committee of Parliament, Dr. Clement Apag, has waded into the Education Minister's request to extend Anthony Boateng's post-retirement contract as Deputy Director of Education for a third time. The decision has been greeted with stiff opposition, particularly from players within the educational sector.
Clement Apag has described the decision as needless and questioned if among hundreds of experts, professionals in education, it is only Anthony Boateng who can serve as a Deputy Director General and oversee the establishment of the National Education Institute. The Bulsa South legislator says he believes Anthony Boateng himself knows that the extension of his post-retirement contract for a third time is not justified. He is urging the educationists to refuse the appointment if government wouldn't listen to calls to withdraw that appointment to demonstrate his raw courage and high integrity. Clement Apag claims information from his sources say Anthony Boateng is confused as to whether to accept or not to accept the said contract extension. According to Clement Apag, this is the third post-retirement contract extension being granted Mr. Boateng. The first extension was from August 2020 to August 2021. The second extension was from August 2021 to August 2022, and this latest extension makes it the third time. The Deputy Education Committee ranking member is thus calling on the presidency to withdraw what he believes is the unjustified extension of Mr. Boateng's post-retirement contract. He added if the presidency fails to do so, Mr.
Remember our headline story about the National Concern Spare Parts Dealers Association, who have kicked against the decision by Gupta to have their shops closed, and they say it would not help the economic condition. In fact, it would make it harder for them. And so we're engaging the president of Gupta, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Joseph Obeng, on what this means for the earlier decision. Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, my dear.
Right, I'm sure it's come to you. What do you make of the decision by the concerned spare part dealers to say, we won't follow it, we will open our shops?
We are talking about Gupta. We are talking about an association that is comprises of 68 trade associations, and that is Gupta talking. And so we do not know this association, and it is not part of us. So if any of our 68 member associations is the one that is talking, then you will say that our front is broken. But there's freedom of association. That group might be another group of groups that we have in the country, and they can do what pleases them. But we are Gupta, we are focused on what we are doing. The masses of Gupta, the big voice of Gupta will talk if they want to talk. The masses of Gupta will shut down if they want to shut down. We are a huge association, the most recognized association in West Africa. And so we are focused.
But
and
they do identify with Gupta. They do identify with Gupta.
You said?
They do identify with the association, the main body Gupta.
They are not members of Gupta.
Okay.
So they are not part of us.
Okay.
We have Ghana National Spare Parts Dealers Association. We do not have concerned Spare Parts Traders Association in Gupta, period.
Okay.
And
all
so
right.
there's freedom of association. They can please themselves.
All right.
We have the bulk of people. So hundreds of thousands of us. And we will do what we want to do. We are the most organized association. We have the structures. Some of them are national in character, some are regional in character. We have Ghana National Spare Parts Dealers Association, we have second-hand clothing dealers association, all the second-hand clothing dealers, Kantamanto, Kumasi, KO, Doom, everywhere.
Okay.
They are all under us.
All right. So have you also had the concern that, have you also received the reports that you did not consult widely before arriving at this decision?
And because they are not part of us, but those who are part of us, Gupta is a membership of 68 associations, period. And we have consulted those associations. They are not part of us, and they can never be part of us. So why do we go and consult them?
Okay. But your 62...
It's as simple as that.
But the 62 members were all consulted. That's what you're saying, member groups.
Because they are under our ambit, they are under our umbrella, and they are our members, legitimate members. So we do not make the associations as the ones that are going around. They want to do something they want to do. We say we are closing our shops. And they want to open their shops. They should open their shops.
Okay.
But when the masses speak and the town is silent, then we know.
Just to wrap up and reiterate the points. The decision, the earlier decision stands, and the shops will be closed on that day.
You said, please.
I'm asking for reiteration of the earlier decision that it stands, and the shops will be closed.
Yeah, as of now,
thank you.
We haven't gotten any change of mind, and everything is on course. Even some of our members were demanding that we close for 2 days, and so. The anxiety in the members are there. And so everything is on course. You understand?
Thank
so
you.
All things being equal, it will come on.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate your time. You're still live here on Newsnight. We'll definitely follow up on it. But this is a heartbreaking one. And this time, I'm reaching to your heart. I know you all have a soft spot for, and you see that picture behind me. I hope that it touches you. To go into your pockets. I know things are tough, but I hope you go into your pockets when you hear this story. But just imagine having to spend most part of your last 2 years bedridden on a hospital bed due to a severe health condition. And that's the situation of 5-year-old Fatima Zaha Mohammed, who spends 4 days weekly at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after being diagnosed with leukemia in 2020. Doctors say little Zara has less than a week to live unless urgent treatment begins as soon as possible. My colleague Henry Kwesibedu has the rest of the story.
Little Fatima Zara Mohammed has been battling an acute leukemia for the last 2 years. The situation has now forced her out of school as she spends most of her time on a hospital bed in excruciating pain. The mother, Nimatu Abdurrahman, is visibly disturbed.
Like your father say, a woman I need say, me do sending a woman to then it need to be on the cohort they are fine. You need to be fine, but me need money. Me say, first, then be on Tarmichi. What's not a compound, they want penny, they do any could be a ordinity. The initiate, so I can't so. You back me say, a donor money, you weak, if you nearly to me done.
Doctors at Kolebu's Department of Child Health envisage that she has less than a week to live. Michael Opokwe Chiampon is a medical officer at the hospital.
So generally, I think that she is in a critical condition. She is having, at the moment, Pseudomonas infection, which is also an opportunistic infection, something that has got to do with the chest. So you can see that she's not really breathing well. The oxygen saturations are very low, they keep fluctuating. And always we have to come in and all that. The earlier the better. Within a matter of a few days, like maybe 3 to 7 days, we believe that we should be able to start something. Otherwise, we still can't cope within a matter of a couple of weeks. The earlier the better for her condition. Yeah. Anything can happen within this short space of time. And so that is how serious, that's how critical. And when I say anything can happen, I'm sure you understand what it means. We can lose the child at any time because of the critical state in which she is.
A procedure which was started by the facility to cure the 5-year-old last year suffered a setback. She will now have to undergo an immediate chemotherapy, according to medical officers here, to correct the anomaly. Zara's father, Mohammed Habib, has sold all his belongings and has rented out his mechanic shop just for 50 Ghana cedis a month in an attempt to save the life of his only daughter.
I'm scared though. I've got only 2 children, just 2. They have everything. Just 2 children. Until this scene, I was doing well, doing my alignment and balancing, living within my means. My children are all in school. I'm even able to buy toys for my children, which my own father couldn't buy for me. I grew up until this thing happens. Now, the 2 other people that you are on the same medication with, within a week, they've all passed. But Zara is still fighting. And my end of the bargain is to get money for her medication and treatment. But I don't have anything. I owe people. I don't have anything. I don't know how I'm going to. I don't know. She's fighting. You can see the other 2 within the week, they pass on. But she is fighting. She's getting better, a little better than she was last week. You see? So my end of the bargain as a father is to be able to be getting her medication. Life and death is up to God. God say you live, you live. But when you can't tell whether really is because you couldn't buy your medications in time. That's why she passed on. How can you live with that as a parent?
But as the daughter's condition continues to deteriorate, he is left with no other option than to seek for help from benevolent individuals.
I work as hard as I can. Even if I get some work to do at night apart from my day job, I will do it. I'll do it. After all, in the night, we just sleep. If I could get some small sleep, I'll go and lie down and I can't sleep. I sleep 2 hours and I'm awake. I'll sit down in the night. For the treatment of her chemotherapy and whatever, they're saying 60,000 Ghana cedis. But it's over the period of treatment. So if I could get the money and give to them now, if there's any medication, they will just write the medication and give you part of the money to go and buy.
The dream of young Zara to become a medical doctor in future continues to fade away as she groans daily on a sick bed. Her sorrowful father is begging for 60,000 Ghana cedis as cost of treatment to save the life of the daughter. You can contribute through the consolidated bank account number 210093060001 with name Habib Mohammed Salisu, or the mobile money number 024-230-4408 with name Mohammed Habib.
And that's a heartbreaking story. You cannot watch that and say, I won't donate. 20 cities, 100 cities, 1,000 cities, whatever amount you can. She's only 5 years old and she's had to spend 2 years at the hospital. Just put yourself in her shoes for just a minute. 60,000 cities sounds like a lot of money. But like they say, little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Together, we can do it. We'll be right back with business.
Hello, welcome to the business segment of the news. My name is Kenneth Jesse, and in business tonight, ratings agency Fitch Solutions is projecting the cedi to depreciate by 43% against the US dollar in 2022.
In its latest report on the country titled Ghana's Private Infrastructure Investment Set for Medium-Term Recovery, the ratings agency said the continuous investor concern over the country's large fiscal deficit puts a downward pressure on the cedi. Fitch again pointed out that the cedi's weakness will keep revenue risk elevated for foreign investors dependent on revenue streams in the local currency. Despite an expected 2 billion inflows from the Afri-Exim Bank and Cocoa Board syndicated loan, the cedi has since the beginning of the year lost about 36% in value to the dollar, according to Bloomberg. Furthermore, it said in the light of the reliance of Ghana's construction industry on imports, the cedi's weakness will add to upward pressure on prices of construction materials from existing supply chain disruptions. The cedi depreciated by a little over 4% last week, starting the week at 10 cedis 10 pesos to US dollar. This has drastically shot up the prices of some goods and services, increasing both the cost of doing business and living in the country.
Now, former Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Gas Company, Dr. George Sipayanke, says Ghana's economy is on the verge of total collapse. Speaking to my colleague Frederick Clarence Williams here in Accra, he suggested government adopts a strategy to change the fundamentals of the economy to save the country.
Unless they change the strategy, unless they change some men and bring in better.
The government has been parrying allegations Ghana's economy is in poor state. The World Bank had suggested government needs to work hard to save the situation. Government, however, says Ghana's economic fundamentals remain strong with improvement in debt and liability management. Again, government has rebutted imminent external imbalances and reserve shortfall in the face of global challenges occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. A former chief executive of the Ghana Gas Company, Dr. George Sipayanke, however, disputes government's defense, arguing that the economy is in distress.
This government has pushed this country very close to the edge of a volcano. We're just waiting for an eruption for the erupted consumers. And I think that so far they made a lot of promises. They gave people so much hope. And they failed us in all respects. Governance has been poor. Performance of ministers and the government itself has been poor. And the president is saying he's happy with the performance of his ministers, so there's no need for any reshuffle.
He mentioned reckless borrowing and spending on unproductive government businesses as the cause of the country's woes.
The major cause has been the reckless management of the economy, especially the massive borrowing that the government has undertaken over the past few years. The government has force-fed the economy with debt to the point that it cannot digest efficiently. That's one of the causes. Secondly, the government has not done any serious investment in the real sector. The real sector is really those areas which will generate foreign currency. And the real sector says that will help us reduce our imports of goods that we consume. That is the second factor. The third one is the increased import of non-essential products. They've been non-essential imports have been on the rise, and that also eats into our foreign currency.
For business, my name is Kenneth. Jesse Sports News is next. Bring in friends.
It's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. The local organizing committee of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar has indicated that the Educational City Stadium is ready for the Mondial.
The Education City Stadium isn't the most romantically named of the 8. Nevertheless, this 40,000-seater arena located in Education City, 7 kilometers south of Doha, has earned the nickname the Diamond in the Desert. A single glance tells you why. Designed by Fenwick Irebaren and Pattern Design, the building has a facade composed of a myriad of diamond shapes, giving the overall structure its jewel-like appearance. Indeed, these diamond patterns appear to shimmer and change color as the sun moves across the sky. Despite being the jewel in the crown of the Qatar World Cup ambitions, it's also among the most environmentally sustainable stadiums in the world, receiving a 5-star GSAS rating. In fact, 20% of the building's material came from green sources. Education City Stadium will be among the most prominent following the World Cup, built in the heart of Education City, which features satellite campuses of 8 international universities. The stadium will play host to the university athletic teams, retaining 25,000 of its initial 45,000 seats. The stadium will feature in 8 World Cup games, including a quarterfinal. Since its opening in early 2020, it's served as a popular arena for international football events, including the 2020 FIFA Club World Cup and 5 matches during the FIFA Arab Cup 2021. The $700 million stadium is certainly proving its worth. But with such an exorbitant price tag, the Qatari will be looking for other headline events to host going forward.
For some news coming from the United States is that Germany's Alexander Zverev will also be taking part in the tournament due to injuries sustained. We're being told that he's recovering fastly, but will not be part of the last Grand Slam of the year. My name is Phil John Kwasi. That's it for sports. Up next, Showbiz.
And thank you, Phil. No, it's not a Siedua, but we do entertainment. So, High Life of Afrobeat musician Sistro, musician Sistro, has disclosed the relevance of live music or live performance. According to him, no matter when an artist finds themselves, it's important to perform live because miming songs will fade away, but live performances from an artist connects more with the audience.
Live band connects more.
Okay.
I can be in my room and still play the songs. I can play Kweku's song in my room. So
Yeah.
what's the difference between me coming to watch you still do the same thing?
Okay.
And so it has to be different.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, that you should know that when you are on stage performing, there are people who are actually taking coverage. People are watching with their phones and people are shooting with their phones and stuff. That video should be on the person's phone for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, that no matter where you find yourself, it is important for you to play live than to mime, because mime you fade away. And so if you're a musician and you are listening, you are watching, I think the earlier, the better.
Okay.
Because you'd have to sit back and watch yourself when you are in your 60s and 70s and go like, my song is still popping.
Yeah.
And one of Ghana's brightest female keyboardists, Sister Efriye Kole, has stated that artists should know how to play at least one musical instrument to make them complete. And this, she says, will enlighten their musical knowledge more.
Generally, I think every artist who says is a musician should know how to play an instrument.
This conversation, at least one.
Period.
This one.
On God. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you would not even look down on instrumentalists, as you call it. But we are all musicians.
Okay.
But they say artist, instrumentalist. What makes you different from me? You know, we are all musicians, we are all artists, because my input will make your work stand out.
Look at some international stories.
Somalia's new president, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, has vowed an all-out war against militant group Al-Shabaab. This comes days after the militants staged a deadly attack on a hotel in the capital, Mogadishu, killing 21 people and leaving more than 100 injured. In his first address to the nation since Friday night's attack, President Mohamud promised to crush the Al-Qaeda-linked group. According to the police, Nigerian gunmen have released 4 Catholic nuns abducted early this week in the southern eastern Imo state. Abaton said the hostages were released unhurt, but would not disclose if ransom money was paid. The United States has announced nearly $3 billion in new military aid to Ukraine, with President Joe Biden saying the assistance aims to help the country defend against Russia's invasion over the long term, as the war entered its 7th month. In a statement on Wednesday, as Ukraine marked its independence from the Soviet Union, Biden said the $2.98 billion package would allow Kyiv to acquire air defense systems, artillery systems and munitions, counter-unmanned aerial systems, and radars.